Well, all right, all right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup. Unfortunately, my overlay is not working, and I am horribly backlit by my living room or office window, so I will not be using my camera, nor will I have the overlay. So this is a 2v2 matchup. It is Undead and Orc going up against Undead and Orc. A true mirror match here. Go ahead, keep track of the names. Xuegongzi and Limuzi. I don't know. They sound like Chinese names to me. I don't know. Is it racist if I'm Chinese and I say Lu Gongxi sounds like a Chinese name to me, or just because I'm saying it with a Chinese accent, or just because it follows the Chinese romanization of Mandarin? Uh, Hopefully, I do not offend anyone. If I do, I apologize. It is not my intent. And look at this, I'm allergic to wokeness. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this 2v2 matchup. All right. Farseer and most likely, well, a delayed Death Knight with Crypt Fiends coming in from the blue team. Meanwhile, it looks as though we're going to be seeing similar strategy from the yellow Undead and a Farseer or a Farseer as well. So we are looking at a large number of ranged units. Warmill also being placed down on both sides. No one teching to tier 2 as of yet. Very, very, very smart to not tech to tier 2 in a 2v2 matchup early, as if your opponents, well, they try and mass up a large number of units, you just don't have enough to defend that early on. Farseers will be jumping out onto the battlefield here in just a moment, and this game will get underway. If you guys remember, Death Knights will be a little bit later on the scene, as well, that is the delayed Crypt Fiend build for those Death Knights. Farseer already making its way out here. They are going to be crossing each other, crossing paths, and I guess crossing those little magic wands that they use to hurl lightning bolts at each other. Blue opting to go for this green creep camp here, going after this furball. Meanwhile, yellow, is it going to actually spot? Yes, yellow is going to spot the blue Farseer, now being forced to try and retreat back here. Are they going to get the kill? And, well, a little bit of free damage done already as the shaman, I don't believe that shaman has what's it called? Has Purge, and now a little bit of damage to be racked up. These Spirit Wolves are going straight after that Headhunter. The Headhunter only has 375 hit points, and because of that medium armor, well, it takes significantly more damage. All right, one wolf chasing after this Headhunter there. Units are splitting out in every which direction once more as Headhunters are joining in on the battle. Death Knight now getting called over as well. A couple of ensnares go down onto Azure Seal's Crypt Fiends, and how appropriate that they are blue. All right, going to continue to battle this up, though, at both sides fighting their way through as we now see a 2-on-1 fight in the center here. The Farseer will be forced to retreat back as the Death Knight, using Blight, able to clear out this mercenary creep camp on the other side. So yellow having this divide and conquer strategy, while blue is trying to keep everything together and winning and being able to clear out of these engagements on their own. All right, are we going to see another Death Coil? Yes, on that Crypt Fiend for the save. Both sides still exchanging blows as the Death Knight off to the north does pick up a crystal ball and now has that unholy aura for that faster movement speed. Some of these, well, creeps are still engaging in the battle, finally getting recalled all the way back. Death Knight and Farseer both have a little bit of experience here, as the Farseer now coming across with a large number of Headhunters ready to poke in quite a bit of damage, as this Crypt Fiend needs to back away. Spirit Wolves are really much diving on into this location as they're finally getting turned around and getting turned back here. All right, one Spirit Wolf down, another Spirit Wolf getting resummoned as those units retreat back. A lot of action, or two blue armies going up against one yellow army. This yellow army is harassing quite a bit. Meanwhile, the Death Knight of the yellow side able to do a lot of creeping pretty much uninhibited, and with that should be able to take a commanding level 3 to level 2 lead. That level 2 Death Coil will provide plenty of heals, and with those plenty of heals perhaps cause a bit of problems later. Farseer, also of yellow, wanting to do a bit of creeping himself and get to yellow level 2, as we see a quick roar by that dire wolf, giving a big damage bonus to the remainder of that creep camp. All right, Death Knight now looking to clear out this Goblin Merchant Shop. Death Knight will be just shy of level, or we'll get to level 3 here in just a moment. There it is. Can now start healing up these remaining Crypt Fiends, pick up a Cloak of Shadows perhaps, and trying to finish off some of these units. That Dire Wolf, though, does deal quite a bit of damage. Up to 41 damage, and then also landing in those critical strikes. All right, trying to finish off these wolves as well. We're looking at, well, a little bit of healing needed as he sells that Cloak of Shadows back. Both sides, level 2 hero, level 2 hero Death Knight, level 2 going up against a level 2 Farseer and a level 3 Death Knight. Yellow on the board, slightly ahead there in terms of hero level experience. Meanwhile, tech to tier 3 already underway by the yellow orc. Already at tier 2, it looks no spiked barricades as we are getting into reinforced defenses because of the amount of, well, piercing damage, ranged piercing damage is on the map. Farseer needs to do quite a bit of healing here across all of these units. There's level 3 picking up a Cloak of Shadows. Could also try and pick up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability if knowing that the situation could be a bit dire. Blue opts to pick up a Tavern Heroes in a Dark Ranger and a Naga Sea Witch, and now looking to push together onto the Orc. Orc could be in a lot of trouble. There is, well, in this transitionary phase, after all of the tech is still being built, the Crypt Fiends could easily take down or put a lot of pressure on this Bestiary before it is done. Already down to half life, and we may need to see some repairs here as that Bestiary is just going to end up being lost. Meanwhile, Shadowhunter going to go ahead and get some heals across the, well, Orc army that was low on hit points. Death Knight also getting in a little bit of regeneration from that, from a healing salve perhaps, as they are looking to perhaps head down south and try and protect. We are looking at a bunch of towers being placed down as well, so reinforced defenses, but all of these watchtowers are currently under construction, so they do not have any armor whatsoever, meaning that they take full damage. Chain Lightning bouncing around, Death Coil saving as both sides fighting their way through. Death Knight having a Potion of Mana, continuing to go after some of those units here as we see a Hex go down on a Death Knight here, preventing a heal. All right, coming back around, Burrow also being used very, very effectively as the units are trying to retreat back. All of these watchtowers, however, could be completed, and with 4 watchtowers outside the door of yellow, well, those watchtowers will be knocking on the door and perhaps put pressure onto yellow and hit the breaking point. Units are still trying to retreat back here. The Naga Sea Witch, the timing on this push by blue, absolutely key, as we see 4 heroes going up against now 4 heroes. Lich is not going to be able to do nearly as much as more watchtowers are joining in, and those burrowed Crypt Fiends able to regenerate a decent amount of hit points. With those watchtowers now fully constructed and that fortified armor, the piercing damage and heroic damage of the Death Knights and the heroes are not going to be able to take them down. A second round of watchtowers being placed here, and this yellow base is going to be turned into a well-fortified blue expansion in no time at all, but a Death Knight does end up taking down. All right, with the Death Knight gone, no more burst heal. The Death Knight still trying to find a way to do a little bit more fighting underway. There is no, I repeat, no a way to find those burrowed Crypt Fiends. Do we see that crystal ball? A yellow had a crystal ball earlier, not quite sure where it went. Perhaps it was sold, and that is perhaps a mistake now, as he wishes he was able to take down those Crypt Fiends. All right. Coming back around off to the north, a Bestiary being placed down here. Demolisher trying to get added in as well. That Demolisher is going to be key, as Demolishers are also joining in from the blue side. However, that one Demolisher quickly destroyed here. Death Knight now looking to retreat back. Blue's Death Knight did rejoin in onto the battlefield, and that was a quick resurrection there, as a quick burrow. Crypt Fiend doesn't make it in time. Bestiary still trying to train up more. Demolisher does need to retreat back. Orc burrows or Orc Watchtower actually able to take down another watchtower that was being built within range right there. So a little bit of additional bonus defense, as the Demolisher needs to retreat back here. And if it is properly rallied, then it should be fine. All right, here we are. Demolisher needing to take down these buildings. Farseer, however, going to try and go after this Demolisher here. We are going to be getting in some repairs. Both sides fighting across these long lines. It feels like over a dozen towers built or under construction, as we are going to see the Demolishers continuing to take down these buildings. Both sides fighting very, very heavily as the barracks is now being placed down again to get in the second round of Demolishers. Farseer falls at level 3, giving level 3 to the Death Knight. Meanwhile, Lich is at level 2, getting a Frost Nova, finishing off a Naga Sea Witch there. Heroes are falling all over the place as Demolishers are still joining in on the battle, as we're still seeing more damage getting racked on up. All right, Spirit Wolves trying to, make their way back. Another Demolisher. It does make it out onto the battlefield just in time. And with those two Demolishers, two Demolishers against one. This Demolisher, however, still causing problems as we are getting more Demolishers still being built. Crypt Fiends need to burst down this Demolisher in order to start to draw a line in the sand. However, the Obsidian statues of blue are making this push last much, much longer. Yellow Obsidian statues also trying to add in a little bit of support. There's a Death Coil for the heal there as the Demolisher quickly retreats back. All right, more attacks, more damage raining down onto these buildings as we're still getting some damage here. There's a Death Coil, but that was a split second late. And, just a bit short. Meanwhile, this attack still raging on through. More watchtowers getting added in. Peons are trying to desperately repair, trying to break free out of this location here as we are getting an Altar of Storms and that Voodoo Lounge again. The Farseer, remember, was taken down and now needs to rebuild as a Scroll of Town Portal in time for the Farseer to get away. But with that, the Demolisher did not get pulled away in this Scroll of Town Portal, but without that Farseer and those additional units to support, perhaps Yellow can finally break free from this position. All right, these Demolishers still continuing to push damage pretty heavily. This one Demolisher down to 176 hit points could easily get taken down, and there it goes. That range there as the Farseer, or as the Shadowhunter, able to dodge just a last bit of damage here and stay alive. Voodoo Lounge needs to heal back up here. Farseer needs to get resurrected at that Altar of Storms. Meanwhile, the Demolishers are still just lobbing attacks against the watchtowers here as the Orc army arrives back ready to fight again. All right, both sides fighting their way through. Destroyer up in the air trying to devour magic across all those Spirit Wolves. Now that the Scroll of Speed is used, he probably wishes that he could devour magic there as the Farseer coming back across the Shadowhunter coming back across the other side. Shadowhunter gets bursted down, walking into the fight again as the battle is still raging on here. Demolishers actually moving a little bit too far, and both yellow Demolishers were lost. That was a huge mistake there. These units needed to just slowly break free and instead try to join in the battle against the blue army, ignoring the watchtowers and then getting picked apart. All right, more Demolishers need to be trained up here. A big fight getting underway as the Farseer are about to make its way back out onto the battlefield. Fork Lightning picking off more units. Destroyers trying to finish off some of those units here. Perhaps should be going after those Obsidian statues in the back. The Obsidian statues keeping the army alive and together as the Crypt Fiends, with that medium armor, able to resist much of that damage. Coming back around, the Destroyers also have mana. So yeah, that little bit of extra damage could really take a big toll as a blue continues to inch onto yellow's defensive position. All right, new barracks being placed down. Shadowhunter being resurrected. Farseer being resurrected off of two Altar of Storms. One Demolisher back across here. Farseer now out here onto the battlefield. Spirit Wolves getting summoned up. Watchtowers are all in position. Peon is just constantly on repairs. No Demolisher on the blue side yet to actually put pressure onto the watchtowers and these Orc burrows. More units now trying to get trained up here. Where's the rest of the yellow undead army? They are regrouping and ready for a counter push here, while the yellow Orc is still absolutely taking a beating. All right, perhaps more repairs are going to be underway here. Watchtowers taking quite a bit of damage here. The fortress needs to also absorb or repair quite a bit of damage as well. 30 over 51 supply, more Orc burrows. And here comes the engagement now as the blue army is trying to push in to a dangerous spot. The Crypt Fiends take down a barracks that was under construction, but that is not one of the key buildings to take down. Level 3 now on the Lich, activated, ready to go. We need to see, the Berserkers are still trying to get trained up here as we see Fork Lightning heading back across. Plenty of attacks going across every which way as units are falling left and right. All right, Fortress needs to get some repairs. It is getting those repairs now as the Destroyer are still trying to make its position here. All right, Shadowhunter has joined back in on the battlefield here. More Berserkers are getting added in. There goes another Raider taken down. And this hold seems to be lasting forever and a day. and a Knight here, as both sides are still trying to fight here. All right, Destroyer getting webbed down. Death Knight has, well, nope, Death Knight used the Death Coil on a Crypt Fiend and then quickly seized the focus, switching back onto that, webbed down unit. All right, one Demolisher actually off in a very, very dangerous spot. Are we going to see another dead Crypt Fiend? Yes, we are. There's Dust of Appearance and a bunch of dead Crypt Fiends now getting served up as they were all burrowed, trying to heal up here. All right, both sides still fighting their way through. Obsidian Statues still have plenty of mana in the back as this fight is still going strong. All right, a crazy battle here in a 2v2 matchup as the Naga Sea Witch of blue falls at level 2. All right, both sides still hanging on here. Farseer trying to make sure that this Voodoo Lounge does not get constructed. Lich, well, a bunch of low hit point units. Crypt Fiends actually still joining in on the battle here as they are retreating back again. 33 supply for the Orc army. Meanwhile, Undead having 54 over 60. Perhaps doesn't want to be in low upkeep, but can't really help it as his opponent is sitting at 52 and 41. They don't have supply to give. All right, both sides still fighting their way through. Plenty of watchtowers here continuing to poke. A new round of barracks is training up, or should start training up some more demolishers as we are engaging here again. Level 3 now on the Shadow Hunter. That's going to be providing more heals. Crypt Fiends getting taken down. Are we going to see the Death Knight? Death Knight down to 26. No, down to dead. He had a Scroll of Town Portal, but did not use it in time. Falls at level 3. In comes a Crypt Lord, a major impale. Farseer and Death Knight of blue taken down, but the Crypt Lord's sudden appearance just threw everything up in the air. Headhunters continuing to fight back. We are looking at Headhunters versus Berserkers. Blue's army only has Berserkers since he did not go to tier 3. And with that, all of these Headhunters have 100 hit points less. All right, one Destroyer down to 58 hit points. It's going to be forced to retreat back. Demolishers are starting to able to break free once again from their containment. And with that, breaking free from their containment, perhaps will be able to stabilize as this push seems to be coming to an end and running out of steam. Once the Demolishers are out here on the battlefield, well, this Demolisher needs to attack, move forward and attack again, go after some of these units. Not quite sure what this Demolisher is waiting for. Just, waiting for orders, even though it knows what it should do. Coming back around. All right. Well, nope. Berserkers making their rounds here. All right. It looks like both sides decided to do a ceasefire temporarily, not engaging, as we're looking at another watchtower going to get taken down. As we see, as those watchtowers are getting taken down, experience is given to the entire yellow army, and that is pretty much free experience here. Do we see any close level ups? That is the question. Lich is the next closest one, but it's only a level 4, still raging on in this big fight. All right, another Demolisher going to get added in. Here we are going into an engagement. Blue trying to line up the attack, and then Yellow quickly, smartly realizing, you know what, I need to back away. There's actually a burrowed Crypt Fiend right there, interestingly enough, as a Shadow Hunter going to get taken down. All right, unit still trying to retreat back. Yellow Shadow Hunter getting taken down so quickly. There goes a Raider there, as both sides are still fighting in position. All right. Both sides attacking. Yellow Crypt Fiends joining in on the battlefield. More Demolishers could be joining in on the fight. Not quite sure why they're not engaging here as the Destroyers are trying to retreat back. All right, fighting under the cover of the Watchtowers is absolutely key as the Crypt Fiends are still battling away. Level 2 now on that Crypt Lord as the Death Knight, trying to lead this charge back. More Demolishers going to continue to take down here. Berserkers trying to retreat back. There goes an Impale. And I believe the Headhunter or Berserker is no longer for this world, but the Farseer will be able to retreat back. More damage getting racked up here again. Level 4 now on that Lich. Level 2 Naga Sea Witch has fallen, and this battle is still going strong. Lich does have that Orb of Corruption since we are at tier 3 for the Undead, applying that negative armor debuff. Meanwhile, the Demolishers are getting in some nice splash damage here. Are they taking down the Destroyer as well? The Destroyer taking a little bit of splash damage since it is currently on the ground as the Berserkers are trying to focus it down. The Destroyer down to 48 hit points. Could end up getting taken down. Finally falls here as the Farseer now retreats back nearly at level 5. Continuing to fight back around. There's a Death Coil onto the Farseer. Farseer, however, used a Potion of Healing earlier, able to stick around and stay alive in that fight as we're looking at the Demolishers getting in free range attacks coming in from, within range of the Watchtowers here again. More damage pushing back on through, and it looks like Yellow is gonna hold this position after building 2 Altar of Storms and 2 additional barracks in odd positions in order to break free of this containment. with over a dozen watchtowers outside the base of Yellow. Yellow looked like he was in some serious trouble, but with just great teamwork and good positioning, was able to hold off this attack, keeping calm and making sure to get a couple of demolishers and keeping that range advantage against these watchtowers here, as these watchtowers are going to end up falling. Now, normally after a tower attempt, what you tend to realize is that you have higher levels than your opponent, since sometimes the watchtowers are the ones that get the kills. If the watchtowers are the units that get the kills, no experience is given. So now we're looking at a level 5, a level 4, and a level 1 Dark Ranger, with a level 5, level 3 Shadow Hunter going up against a level 2 Naga Sea Witch, and I believe a level 3 Farseer. Undead, on the other hand, level 4, level 3, level 2. So Undead having more experience still, and now ready to break free once more. This Death Knight should not be in the battle, taking precious experience away from the Dark Ranger and that Lich. All right, the majority of the creep camps have now all been cleared out. There is a couple orange creeps further tucked away behind their own bases. But this game is just absolutely amazing, being able to hold off against 12 towers in that attack, staying calm enough through that entire time. All right, are we going to be going into an engagement here, trying to take down that warrior? That warrior gets taken down pretty quickly, and now going after these last couple of units here. Death Knight going to stay at level 5. Lich is going to stay at level 4, most likely. Dark Ranger will get up to level 2 pretty easily. Their item, what is it going to be? A Potion of Restoration, 500 hit points, and 200 mana. Pretty much a potion of healing and almost a potion of greater mana, all in one item slot. All right, Peon getting get cleaned up there. Army of Yellow now fighting and working together. Acolytes now looking to transition, move away. All of the gold mines have been mined out after all this time. And with no expansions, what is going on here? Both sides, armies are what you see is what you get. It's going to come down to a big battle, and not quite sure how all of this is going to unfold. No expansions were ever established, as we are looking at an engagement in the center portion of the map. Shadow Hunter getting caught right out in the middle of the field and gets taken down. Level 3 Shadow Hunter falls, fighting in a very, very narrow choke point. Chain Lightning trying to bounce around. Impale going across here as Naga Sea Witch is trying to leave again and able to back away once more. All right, this is a narrow choke point. A Scroll of Restoration used to heal up pretty much the entire army there. Fork Lightning pushing back the other way. Blue, are they going to be able to win out this battle after losing that siege for so long? Farseer sitting at level 4 now, as units are still engaging. Obsidian Statue in the back. Yellow Dark Ranger now taken down. 2 heroes down for the yellow team, and the Lich has fallen as well. All right, being able to hold out in that defensive position for as long as they had, only to end up losing so much in this scenario here. This has got to feel like an absolute punch to the gut, thinking that they had won out already and were finally able to break free. Instead, the yellow orc army is already gone, the player there, and we are still waiting for perhaps the undead to finally throw in the towel. Blue comes away with the victory after an amazing hold by Yellow. Just a little bit of a slip up on your front, on a leading support hero who should have been behind your other units, and getting caught in that narrow choke point, losing a level 3 Shadow Hunter at that stage, which represents a lot of healing and sustainability. That was the first domino to fall, leading to the destruction of, pretty much every other yellow unit. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here is the overall scores. A really great game. Let me know what you guys think about this amazing 2v2.